Greetings, Retrounlimers! I'm Harry Yack, and I'm back for yet another bad video games TV show commentary. Well, when I say bad, I don't mean this TV show was bad, I mean my commentary is terrible. Just like that metallic ice cream cone that he has on his chin there. I think his name is Trevor, and the other one's Simon. I don't know. I never used to listen or watch any of the radio or TV shows respectively, although Wikipedia tells me they were on Live and Kicking, a show I used to watch every Saturday morning, yet I don't remember these two. In fact, when I watched this for the first time in 10 years, I thought they were Mark and Lard. How could I make such a mistake? Well, certainly the Mancunian bloke does remind me quite a lot of either Merc or Lard. I can never fathom the difference between them because they sound the same.
Greetings, oh mumly one.
And here is Mum, who is indeed Trevor's mother, who he has brought along, or rather, she wanted to come because she wanted to keep an eye on him. Stop all this naughty banter going on between them here. You can tell these two used to work on radio here, filling dead space. Now, here's a word of warning for all you people moving from radio into television. Silence is your biggest friend. You have to learn to keep quiet for a bit. Oh, shut up.
Okay, good. Your first card is a king. Higher or lower?
What do you reckon? What?
It's a king. It's a king.
I know I should go lower, but I know you. I'm going to go higher.
On a king?
Higher.
You're going higher,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It's an ace.
Yeah!
Well done, you win.
Well, congratulations, and you can hear that there's no studio audience here, can you? This is the cheapest of the cheap, admitted by Mr. Simon Hickson in an interview that I was listening to this afternoon. What's that you say? Harry Yack did some research? Well, I never... Oh. But more about that later. In fact, a lot more about that later when I run out of things to say about this. Because I don't remember a lot about this. But shut up about that, Harry, because here are the contestants.
Did you know we can't put up a tent if it's raining?
David here is the provider of this particular clip on his YouTube channel. Or at least I think it's David. There's a picture of him in his avatar, and he certainly looks a lot more like David than the other kid whose name I missed. Chris.
David, you've been on stage with Wade Dobson, the magician.
Oh my goodness, look at his hair. Who does he look like? The less said about that, the better. Oh my goodness, please get that off my screen now. This was 1999. Nobody had a haircut like that this late. Jeez, I'm trying to think what video game he's out of. But it's hurting my brain.
Let's start the punch-up quiz.
Yeah, let's begin the first round. He's putting this stupid hat on. Actually, no, it's not that stupid, is it? It's probably taken some wardrobe woman 10 minutes to construct, which counts as quite a lot in the .tv budget. Oh yes, it's not the computer channel this. By this time, the computer channel had become .tv. Always stylized in the square bracket things.
Well, what should I tell them? I had a stomachache.
Okay, I have no idea what game that's from. And neither did they. Sounds a bit crazy.
No takers, you don't know. Let's have a look and see.
Well, what should I tell them?
Oh, it's Jammalami. Well, I should have known that. Or not, because I never played that game. I never even played Parappa the Rapper. Listen to this joke.
Jamalami with Paul Weller. That's
That's fantastic, isn't it? Yes, this show was certainly made on the cheap. In fact, Mr. Hickson, the one reading out the questions right now, tells me, not personally, I heard it on that podcast I was talking about earlier, that they had no editing facilities, it was all done on the spot, and they had no auto-cue. Well, they were seasoned professionals. So, who needs auto-QA? Oh, sorry, who needs auto-cue? I'm going to sack my runner for that. Aberration. We've got some more questions going on here. I should explain how this game show worked. It's absolutely nothing like Games Master. Well, it's gonna have some video games playing a bit later on, but, well, a lot later on. The bulk of this show is Laughing Boy here asking them questions. It's set up a little bit like a fighting game, and every time you get a question right, you deal one hit on the other bloke, you get one wrong, he deals a hit on you. An ingenious idea, I must say.
Please open your eyes. Take a look at this.
I played that game quite a lot, FIFA 2000 of course, you should know. You should definitely know that because this was made in 1999/2000. But anyway, was that the bad one in the series? Or was it 99? Which one had Sol Campbell on the front? I think that was the bad one. But anyway, I'm not going to attempt to answer any more of these questions because that's generally what happens. If you saw the Christmas special with Dave Perry that I and the console snob did, we got sucked into that trap. I am not going to fall for it this time. I'm not some sort of a mouse. Ah! Mouse! Sorry, I just scared myself there. Pull yourself together, Harry.
Take a hit and lose the round. Oh, wow. That's a round apiece.
Here's a fun fact for you. Oh, this commentary's full of fun facts, isn't it? Trevor and Simon were recently, when I say recently, I mean 2012, on an episode of Pointless Celebrities on the BBC. I have no idea if they won. In fact, I probably saw that episode, and they were so memorable, I didn't remember them.
Nintendo. What is the world of the dead called in Shadow Man? Chris.
Dead side.
That's correct. David, take a hit. I would have also accepted Wolverhampton.
Yeah, it is somewhat distracting, that stupid hat, isn't it? But thank you very much to David, I think your name's David, for uploading this clip. This commentary is going to consist of 2 clips from 2 separate shows. The first one is of David, and the second one is of somebody else off of the YouTubes who uploaded their own respective clip. And indeed, if any of you people out there have, in your VHS archive, copies of this show, please do upload them for me to do a terrible commentary over. Now, it's for historical records and such. Yeah, I think I covered for myself quite well there.
Away.
See you, Chris.
Well done, David. You've proved your worth yet again, which means a silver prize is in the offing. Let's have a look at what it is.
Yes, today's lucky winner could be going home with...
Ooh, a jet ski, a jet ski! Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on that. Nintendo 64? Red? Red is my most hated colour. Oh, I hate you now, .TV. I'm never watching your blasted shows ever again with the cheesy children's television presenters. How very dare you. Well, this guy is just about to introduce the next segment of this show. But guess what? We're going to cut off here and go to the second part, because that is all this person uploaded of this episode. Well, never mind, eh? I'll see you on the other side of this. Which may or may not be an inline ad. Nah, it's not really.
Okay, bring on the contestants.
Bring on the Branston, indeed. I need something horrible to take the taste away. Welcome, contestants. Back to the Games Republic. Oh, did I say that was the name of this show? I may not have, but it was pretty obvious from the introduction cards. Oh yes, we have to have the Omen references here, and he's enjoying that Dr. Evil style there. $1 million. Or, in 1999, 10 pence. Because did you know, you could buy a video game for 10 pence back then. Now the people on the YouTube video for this clip are ripping into the poor guy's haircut, but it's not too bad. At least compared to the last bloke. But we're not going to go into that. This dude certainly does have some screen presence. And indeed, he is a professional entertainer. He's a card trickster. Here we go, he's going to go and sit on the throne. And show us all a fantastic card trick. Ah, that thing in the background has some candy canes. It reminds me of old Mummy. Now, these are really rather impressive, I must say. He is a seasoned performer, this bloke, after all, but why did I ever doubt him? Oh yes, because he's coming on a show such as this. Hello, Guru Larry. I hope you aren't too offended. Yeah, Guru Larry says he was on this show.
If I bring my legs into play, things get furtherly odd. Because with the Queen of Spades, if I take that and wipe it against my left leg, we get nearly my favourite card in the whole world, the Queen of Hearts. Wow. Cheeky lady.
Well, sorry, I'm being transfixed by his magic trick here. He is a magic trickster. You can go on his YouTube channel, which I'm going to flash up at the bottom of the screen now, and view some more of his fantastic trickery. I don't know what this has to do with video games, but there again, they did have much of the 12 minutes to pad out. Since I don't remember watching this show a lot back in the day, I'm not entirely sure how long it ran for. Certainly, I can tell you it ran for 30 episodes, recorded over the course of 4 days, but I don't know how long each individual episode was. Yes, go back and sit down again. Enough of that. It's time to get to the video games. Video games. Video games. I'm sorry, kids, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for the video games.
And I think one of my best experiences was waking up, travelling through the Rocky Mountains.
You woke up?
Well, alright, while they're chatting here, I'm going to tell you that the winner of this first round went through to play off on a Games Master style video game. I won't spoil too much of it yet for you, but we've got an old friend coming in. Well, not to help me with this commentary, but coming on the show. You may recognise him.
Quiz is a bit like a beat-em-up, but we'll go over the rules. Mum, let's see those rules.
And now it is time to go on to the first round. We've got the 3 rules there, held up on the card with the sexy music. That's Trevor or Simon's mother. She actually looks younger than both of them, so that's... yeah, kids' television, you could get away with that sort of thing.
Now then, are we ready, Master?
What on earth is he wearing there? Some sort of protective vest. I remember putting my hand up in school when we were learning about the Aztecs, when the teacher said they used to wear cotton vests as armour. And I thought, how on earth is cotton going to protect you from anything? And I was made to look a fool when they said they'd not invented chainmail at that time. In fact, they'd yet to invent anything. Chocolate had yet to be invented. As such, I disown that time as a human.
What is the sequel to Metal Gear Solid known as in this country?
Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
Metal Gear Integral.
Oh. Damien!
I was keen.
You're just possessed, aren't you? You're definitely... What? Sorry, David, can I take your answer again?
Metal Gear Integral.
No, sorry, that's wrong. It's Metal Gear Solid VR Missions. That's the American name you've come up with, so...
Well, of course, that wasn't even out yet. I forgot. This is 1999, isn't it?
Which allows you to play the game with Lara in the news. David.
False.
It is indeed false. Damien, take a hit. Of course, there's nothing stopping...
I love that whenever he just pretends he's been hit. He's really getting into the role here. I love it when the kids role-play in these shows.
David. Rare. That's correct, Damien. Take a...
I have to credit the set here, even though I've said it was cheap. Some money has certainly gone into this. Hewland probably funded it. Hewland did the whole of the computer channel, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. Or at least they were instrumental in getting it started. A lot of the content came from them, as in Games World. Who's going to win this? I've just noticed. It might possibly be the case that 2 Davids win in both of these shows. So, if your name is David, then you're likely to win on this.
Sadly. On to round 2, light up those energy bars. What was a VIC-20?
What was a VIC-20? It was, of course, a computer.
Yes, well, except that it's a personal computer from the 1980s. David, take a hit.
I should point out that, according to one of those cheesy websites out there in internet land, UK TV game shows, the question masters used to get the answers incorrect, so the contestants was given an answer which was correct, and they would say it was wrong or vice versa. Research! Do it! Well, I'm a fine one to talk, aren't I? Research is not a word in Harry Yack's vocabulary.
That's correct, David. Take another hit and lose the round. That's your round, Damien. Now it's 1 round each. Into the final round, light up the energy bars. How many bees in Bubble Bobble?
How many beans in Bubble Bobble? I can't remember. I've not played that game in ages. I did have beans on toast for tea, and I warmed the beans up in the microwave, and why is it that always at least one explodes? And it's turned my microwave into a big orange mess. I had to clean that up. Spent 15 minutes cleaning that up for the sake of one blasted bean exploding. But back to video games. Oh, is that Turek? It's certainly a Fogfest, and there's a dinosaur. Ooh, is it Tomb Raider? Ah! Eaten! Ah!
A. China Crisis, B. Dino Crisis, or C.
Dino Crisis? Who calls it Dino Crisis? Fred Flintstone? Oh, my word.
And sadly leave the game. We now have
Yes, unfortunately, Damien lost. I don't know if that's because it was more entertaining that way, but... Well, certainly if this were Games World, he would not have been voted off. Oh, look at that, putting a sack over his head! It's not quite as bad as Games World, where they threw them into a pit. And in Games Master they threw them into a pit as well. What obsession do they have with that? What fetish does Dominic Diamond and Hewland have for pits? I'm surprised they didn't produce a show called The Pits. Alright, here we go. We're going to learn about the next round. What's the game?
Sled Storm. Yes, players must slide around the hard-packed course in this PlayStation Sled Sim and finish the race in first position. If they can earn any trick points on the way, so much the better. How do you feel about that, David?
All right, have a go.
Done a bit of real sledging on your travels?
Oh, going back to the point about the set, actually. It does resemble the Games World set. I wonder if they borrowed bits from it.
PlayStation Magazine, a PlayStation memory card.
Oh, look at those fantastic prizes that you can win if you win this challenge. I think there's a character cake there. Oh, zoom in on the thing. I can't see what she's got. Is that a laptop? An iPhone? Oh, sorry. They were still a seed back then. I see what I did there with the joke about apples and seeds. But forget that, because coming on stage right now is somebody you may recognise. I was talking a bit about him earlier. Oh, it's me. Yes, he's got the same haircut as me and the same huge nose. It can only be Harry Yack. Nah, it's that bloke off of Screen Wipe. And yes, I still do have the same haircut that I had in 1999. There was a period when I grew it really, really long and got a lot of stick for it. I never had it cut for 2 months and just let it grow to see what would happen. And it was a complete failure. I'd never do that again. It'd be too expensive. I'd just have it 2 all over. Sorry if that sounded a bit rude, but... It's as if Dominic's here in the room with me, isn't it?
As you can see, they're literally leapfrogging over it.
Yeah. Where did they come from? They just flew out of the trees.
Straight off a ramp. But look, he's in first place again here, but it's very easy to fall off a skidoo, as I'm sure you'll be aware.
And commentating on this, it is indeed Mr. Charles Brooker. If you don't mind me calling you that, Mr. Charles. Or Mr. Brooker, whatever. Oh, wasn't she a glamour model of some sort? But anyway, Mr. Brooker isn't necessarily being very sarcastic or cutting here. Presumably he hadn't developed that persona yet. Oh, and he's actually that TV screen built into that podium there. Very Games Master-esque.
Earlier on, I just flew into the trees like a fool.
But I do like the commentary here. It's not a patch on Tin Boone, or indeed Ed Boone, but I like it. It has that certain smarmy quality. Not quite developed to its fullest yet with Mr. Brooker, and I'm going to stop calling him Mr. Brooker, because he probably won't appreciate that. Because his name is the Pundit, and don't you forget it. I've yet to figure out whether he was a regular on this show, they had different ones on each week, or if they just got blokes off the street, as is usually the case with these shows, or at least I like to think so. I like to think that one day I'll be walking down the street and a producer will come up to me and say, "Hey, you have a face for television. Would you like to come on our video games television show?" Oh, well, thank you. I've been recognized. I will now be able to make it. Today the streets, tomorrow the BBC, the day after that the internet. I mean, the world, yes. Ha 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 ha. Come crashing back down to earth here for the end of part 1, which indicates there was a part 2, but I'm afraid we're never going to know. So on that note, I'm afraid I'm going to have to end this particular commentary right here, right now, and see you again soon for another bad video games TV show commentary. Oh, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Sayonara, Retrounlimers.